everyone. Happy Thursday evening. Thank you so much for spending it with me and the LCBO live stream here. We are talking the summer hot list of must-try cans for this season. If you've looked out of the window or have been lucky enough to go outside today, you'll know that summer is upon us, and summer is absolutely my favorite time of year. It's the time for, I think, the best drinks, and we can just all have a lovely time in the sun. And honestly, I am here for a lovely time in the sun. So welcome to this very special episode of the LCBO live stream presented by the LCBO with their trade partners. Once again, we are talking the summer hot list of must-try cans. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. As you'll hear, I'm not from Canada. I've lived in Toronto for nearly 6 years now, and one of my favourite things about being here is this blessed Ontario summer. I am what I describe as a drinkstagrammer, which is something very difficult to communicate to my mum. Basically, I make a lot of drinks on Instagram. I like sharing pictures of drinks. I love going to patios, and I'm very excited about the reopening in Ontario this weekend. But sometimes when I'm off duty, I just want to hang out in my backyard with my bubble. I don't want to be shaking up a complicated cocktail. I just want something that's ready, convenient, and easy for me to drink. And that is very much the theme of the evening here with our 8 must-try cans. Now, once again, I love the Ontario summer. And one of the things I really love about visiting the LCBO is that they always have a very good seasonal lineup of drinks. Once again, these cans are convenient. We've got wines, we've got pre-mixed cocktails, and we have a Caesar, which I'm very excited about. Heading on into the LCBO is an absolute feast for the eyes at the moment. There are many, many things on display. Now, all of the products, we're going to go through them one by one, but if you want to look into something in a little more depth, then the link to each of the products is in the description box down below. Now, everything we're trying today is Canadian. Almost everything is Ontario local, and that just really, really pleases me because once again, I know that we endure long, harsh winters here. Summertime is upon us, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than in Ontario in the summer. Before we get into the tasting, I just want to remind you that, yes, I know we're all very excited because summer's here and things are reopening and life is finally kind of joyous again, but please do drink responsibly. You don't want to be that person at the party. You want to be the classy one, serving lovely pre-mixed cocktails. That's always me. So first up, without further ado, let's get into our Lola Sparkling Rosé. I'm such a big fan of this. Now, this is the Lola Sparkling Blush Rosé wine, $5.45 per can, 250 millilitres here. Now, you may have seen the bigger cans of Lola on the shelves at the LCBO. It expresses in a lovely rose colour. It is a sparkling rosé, but the canned offering is actually even more sparkling, even more ready for celebratory summer. Now, the first thing here, obviously, what's inside the can is the most exciting thing for me. But I've got to say, what a lovely can. Look at this design, absolutely covered in roses. It's the kind of thing that I wouldn't really want to throw away. I would like poke my little flowers in it and have them all around my house decoratively. And I've got to say, there's a lot to be said for lovely artwork here. Now, we're coming in at 11.5%. So this is the strongest of our offerings today. So once again, do bear that in mind for your responsible summer. I know that you can't feel this, but let me explain this to you. This looks like a bottle, but it's actually a canned bottle hybrid. It's aluminium. I know some of you are watching that probably thinking I said that like a crazy woman, but that's just how we say it in the UK. Aluminum, you might think. And it is fully recyclable, which I can very much get on board with. Now, I should note that I'm not a sommelier. A couple of my close friends are. They're fantastic at giving wine tasting notes, but perhaps you're not either. I'm just a lady that absolutely loves enjoying myself in the sun and wants to advise you on the best ways to have a good time this summer. So I will be giving you my tasting notes, but if you want to delve a bit further and deeper into the actual winery process and what goes into making Lola, then I would recommend checking out the LCBO website and the Peely Island Winery website. Now, again, the can is beautiful, but I am honestly a little bit bougie. I like drinking my sparkling wine from a flute, and I've popped in some strawberries just for that extra scent of summer. We're coming in here. Now, what I love about living in Ontario, other than the glorious, glorious summer we have here, is that we have our own wine country. We're absolutely so blessed to have so many wine growing regions. And I have been over to the Peely Island winery a couple of times. Heading down over on the ferry is such a great experience. And they're always there to be super friendly and talk you through the wines and the grapes that they're growing there. And what a lot of people don't know is that the Peely Island winery and Peely Island itself is actually on the southernmost populated tip of Canada, which puts it on the same parallel as a bunch of different wineries in wine growing regions in Europe. So actually, we've got a magic parallel here, which I really, really love. So cheers, let's go in for a taste. Now, I know my sommelier friend Erin here would be like, give it a smell first, Rebecca, drink with the eyes and with the nose. And on the nose, I am getting some watermelon notes, definitely something fruity and glorious for summer. But what are we getting on the lips? That really is celebratory summer right there. I'm glad I've popped in the strawberries for a little extra fruity vibe, but this is fruity. This is a medium wine, so we do have 23 grams of sugar per litre here. And we've got a question from Sophie Lees coming on through. So Sophie, feel free, ask us a question. This is a safe space. If anyone else has any questions, do leave them in the comments section down below. Sophie says, what's the sugar content? I believe I just answered that for you. It's 23 grams a litre there. Obviously, we've got 250 millilitres. You might be good at quick math. I'll leave you to figure that out because this is a live stream and I don't want to be beholden to the answer. But 23 grams a litre, divide that by 4, you've got your answer. I feel like this has turned into an episode of Countdown, but I digress. So this is absolutely delicious. Again, celebratory, pop it in a flute. Cheersing your friends in your bubble, in your backyard, your patio. This really is the celebratory drink of the summer. So cheers to that. Now, like I said, that is 11.5% there. So it is the strongest on our lineup of pre-mixed or wined drinks. And moving on, we have a sparkling wine cocktail at a much lower ABV. So those of you who are wanting a couple of drinks on a warm summer's afternoon, perhaps this will be a very good option for you. We have the Good Fortune Citrus Orange Flower. This is a pre-mixed sparkling wine cocktail at $2.95 for the can. It is sweet, it's zesty, it's citrusy. There is some sugar content in here too. Now, again, I don't want to be one of those girls that pops along and waxes too lyrical about the can. But that being said, I am an Instagrammer, and while drinking high quality drinks is absolutely my number one focus, I can't lie that things that are aesthetically pleasing, they sit well with me. And this is a lovely can that if you just wanted to enjoy it in your backyard on your patio without going through the process of pouring it out into glassware, looks really, 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 really lovely. Now, Good Fortune is a sparkling wine beverage once again. Now, this is something that I would absolutely recommend as a pre-dinner cocktail. It's that sort of 6 p.m. time. You're having a lovely chat with your bubble friends out on the deck, and you want a little lower ABV sip to start you off. You don't want anything too heavy. This is absolutely perfect for that. In terms of dinner pairings, this is something that I would absolutely recommend with grilled fish or light meats, or again, some canapes for cocktail hour. Let's pour her out, shall we? Now, I'm looking forward to showing you what I've done here with my glassware. I've recently invested in what can only be described as tiny pegs. It just makes cocktail garnishing that little bit easier. So I've pegged on a flower here just to really bring out that bright summery tone. Completely unnecessary, won't change the flavor of the drink whatsoever. It does make it look lovely and Instagrammable, doesn't it? So we're pouring this out, and I've chosen a coupe glass because I think they're very, very elegant. And you know what? I feel like I'm in the era of elegance here. This is the summer of lovely, elegant drinks, but I'm not going to stop here in terms of my garnish. I want to show you a good bartender trick. Now, again, I'm very excited about the reopening and recovery in Ontario. Bartenders in the city back at work. And they have told me, have shown me in their time, that if you get a little bit of citrus peel, you can actually add to the olfactory senses of your cocktail by expressing the oils over the top of your cocktail here. It's going to add a little colour pop for the eyes, but it's going to add a little excitement for the nose too. Then I'm just going to rub the orange peel around the rim, again, just so you're getting those orange scents as we go in, and I'm popping it in the glass. And again, it just adds a level of Instagrammability, but also a level of functionality, because I'm really, really, really getting those orange tones there. And what I'm hoping is going to happen is that the orange peel is really going to accentuate the pre-existing orange and citrusy tones. So we're going in for a taste. Cheers. Okay, I've got one word for this, and it's delightful. This is delightful. It's a sparkling celebration, again, rather like the Lola. I love a sparkling drink for all of the cheersing that we inevitably do in the summer, because once again, hurrah, the weather is here. Responsibly, of course. Always got to cheers responsibly. Again, this is a lower ABV. Now, it's just as sweet as the Lola, but it is packing less of an alcohol content there, which does make it a better choice if you are looking for something a little bit lighter. So that's $2.95 once again for a can. And at 5% alcohol, a lower ABV choice. Moving on now to our mixed drink. So with our spirit mixers, we have the Georgian Bay Half Smash coming in again at 2.5%. It's $2.70 for a can. This really is an excellent low ABV option. I know we've talked about alcohol content already, but for those of you looking to really responsibly enjoy your drinks this summer, 2.5% is a lower ABV drink. If you've seen Georgian Bay before, they actually really were some of the pioneers of the pre-mixed can cocktail. When I moved to Ontario in the summer of 2015, Georgian Bay's gin smash was just about coming out onto the shelves, and it's really great to see that they've developed their range with the peach half smash here. So we've got half of the sugar content and we've got half of the calorie content. There is still 12 grams of sugar a can here, so that is something to note. I know that Sophie asked about sugar content. It's something that I always keep my eye on as well, because things can be sneaky and we want to know if we're enjoying things in proportion. So it's 100 calories per can. So for those of you who are counting your calories, just want to keep track, I totally understand. 100 calories a can here. It does retain the minty flavour of the Georgian Bay Smashes, which I think has become quite synonymous with the offerings. I'm going to pour it out now and see what we've got. I'm very excited to try this. I have not tried this yet. Like I said, I'm a very big fan of the gin smashes, the vodka smash. I believe there's a lovely tea on the menu too. So again, this is a sparkling drink, perfect for celebratory times. And the spirit used is gin. As you probably know, Georgian Bay do have their own gin line now too. What I've gone ahead here and done is popped a couple of slices of peach in here, just to add a colour pop. Again, we drink with our eyes before we drink with our mouth. I like things that look a bit pretty, but I just want to add a little extra colour and a little extra flavour here. So what I'm going to do, again, another bartender trick I picked up from my friends in the city. This is a very big basil leaf. They don't often come this big, but like this is a real big one. I think it's going to look great in my drink. I'm going to give it a little spank to unleash the flavors and the aromas, plus also fun. We're going to pop it on in our drink here to give it a lovely little bit of color. That's an extra color pop. That's just going to make things look really great on Instagram. Cheers. Okay, before that even hit my mouth, I was getting those minty notes from the drink, the peach and the minty notes. This is absolutely delicious. This is very delicate. This is delicately flavored, a lovely, refreshing drink, perfect for a hot summer's day. If you're looking to have something in the afternoon, but not be hit with that higher ABV content, this is absolutely fantastic. And you will see that I've poured this directly over ice. Now, I do have some very good news for you. The LCBO is now selling bagged ice. This is something that I'm really excited about and have been looking forward to actually happening. I cycle a lot of places, and sometimes I'll pick up a couple of cans on the way to hang out on my friend's patio or balcony, and being able to pick up things from the same place, honestly, underrated, but fantastic. So now available at the LCBO. We have bagged ice. Hurrah! Okay, another peachy offering now, which is exciting because Ontario is very, very well known for the peaches that we have here. I know our boy Justin Bieber has kind of betrayed us by getting his peaches out in Georgia, but like, I'm not gonna say he's dead to me. That's delicious. But he should be getting his peaches from Ontario, where we all know that they are their absolute best. I love Ontario peach. And what we have here from Little Buddha, an organic 90-calorie peach tea offering, coming in at $2.95 for a can, is actually made with local Ontario peaches, which I absolutely love to see. A quick scan of the ingredients list here also tells me that there are some very healthy ingredients. We've got carrot juice, we've got pumpkin juice. Now, coming in at 90 calories per can, I think a lot of you are going to be excited to learn that there's no sugar in here. Absolutely none. No sugar. However, I do believe that the can expresses still as somewhat sweet. This is because it is infused with organic stevia. So this makes it still viable for those of you who are observing a keto diet. So no sugar, 3 grams of carbs, and I believe organic. And this is made with premium vodka and infused with tea, natural peach tea. I'm very excited to try this. And to show you the glassware I've picked, I hope you're sensing a bit of a theme that maybe I like to get a little bit extra. But honestly, these are the times. We haven't lived through the past 18 months to not serve our peach tea cocktails in a tiny gold teacup, right? So pouring this out, again, that celebratory fizz, which I'm here for. If I've got a catchphrase of the day, we'll go with celebratory fizz. I'm really smelling already that peach. It's coming off very, very strong. Absolute peach feast here. Now, what I've got is some dehydrated orange. I hydrate these myself, but you can pick them up from the Cocktail Emporium and other vendors in the city. And I'm just going to drop it in the top here. The reason I've done this is because traditionally, Earl Grey tea is served with a little slice of orange. And I am British, so I just wanted to keep things on brand. And also, it looks really lovely and would Instagram really well. And like, I've got to say, that really is the aim of the game. It's great to spread the word, and Instagram is the way that I do it. So this looks beautiful. Cheers. We're going in for a try. That is so peachy. That is a very, very, very peachy flavored drink. Again, naturally sweetened with the stevia. Now, I think if we were discussing what to pair with the Georgian Bay, the previous drink, I would probably have paired that with a lovely peach cobbler. Again, especially around August, September, we really get the fruits of Ontario peach season. I think the Georgian Bay would go absolutely perfectly with a peach cobbler out on a deck. I can already imagine it, or a cottage. Yeah, and we've got some comments there saying that this sounds lovely. I can confirm. I'm sorry that you're not here with me right now, because you would also be able to taste the fact that it is really lovely. But once again, if this is something that you're interested in purchasing, the link to each of the products is in the description box. I believe I was talking about peach cobblers. So this would pair perfectly with the peach cobbler. Now, instead with the Little Buddha, which again has that slight stevia sweetness. For me, I would go with things like grilled barbecue salmon with perhaps a bit of an Asian flavored sauce, so something with ginger, something with soy sauce, or some light grilled meats there. I think that this would be absolutely perfect. Again, I did go out there and pop this in a teacup. We aren't really able to travel just yet, so I've been getting pretty inventive with the way I make my fun. Ask my friends, and I'm thinking it would be really nice to throw a little bit of a tea party in my garden and have this on the menu. Again, I would recommend some grilled salmon, but I also think a cute little finger sandwich wouldn't go amiss. Cheers. Lovely. And again, for those of you watching the calories, that is a very good option. So next up, we have the only can that you can't buy as an individual. This is sold in a pack of 6. We have the Lemon Life Hard Lemonade Seltzer. And that's coming in at $13.95 for a pack of 6 of 355 milliliter cans. So once again, to reiterate, everything else is available as a single can, but we do have this one, which is available in a 6-pack. We've got Kristen's asking about a pairing there. I'm just going to wait to see that question there. Kristen wants to know about a food pairing. Perhaps she'd like to know about the Lemon Life here. So seltzers very much have grown a lot of popularity over the past few years. People are very, very, very excited about seltzers. And again, they are a lower calorie option. For here, this is 100 calories again per can. Now, this has 1 gram of sugar and 1 gram of carbohydrate. So there's not zero sugar content here like we have with our little Buddha. But we do have a little bit of sugar. But we have a seltzer. And the thing that I'm very excited about with this seltzer is that it's actually made with hand-picked lemons that are cold pressed and then infused into the drink. So the lemon flavor should actually come through very, very strongly. Now, the question that I just read there from you, from Kristen, was what would I pair with the little Buddha? So I'll return back to my seltzer in a second just to answer you there. So with the little Buddha, again, you could pair it with a dessert, but I would say this one would be a little bit better with a grilled salmon or a glazed salmon on a barbecue. I actually had a lovely maple glazed salmon this past weekend at my friend's house, and this would have been a perfect pairing there. So grill anything with a bit of a grilled oriental flavor, some Thai spices, some ginger, some garlic on your grilled lighter meats and fish there, I would recommend with the little Buddha. Moving back to the Lemon Life Hard Lemonade, 5% alcohol, 100 calories. If you're looking for food pairings here, I would say grilled vegetables and anything with a balsamic glaze and vibe. Lily is excited to try. She's very excited. I mean, I feel you, Lily. I'm also very excited in general as a human. Lily's very excited about the peach. I know, Ontario peach. I've got my peaches up in the LCBO. So sugar content 1 gram. Very good. I think that we should get trying this because once again, I'm very excited about the cold pressed lemons here because this is a lemonade. We want it to taste like a lemonade. But without the sugar content. Again, I've popped some ice in here from my LCBO ice haul, and I've gone with a large lemon ribbon and some blackberries just for fun and for eye colour and whimsy. So we're pouring it out here. I've got a straw for this one. And I think it's looking great. I think there's a lot to be said for a bit of lemon in a drink. It adds a regal sash. Okay, that is very lemony. That's extremely tart. Again, the sugar content is much lower than a traditional lemonade. This is a hard lemonade, it's a seltzer, but that lemon flavor is coming through very, very, very clearly there. Again, grilled vegetables, something with a balsamic glaze would be perfect for this can. 100 calories a can for those of you that are looking for that kind of lower sugar content. I understand. I'm like a devil for getting into a sweet snack in the summer. Cotton candies on the menu. We've got those peach pies I was idolizing earlier. So if we can take the sugar content down with our cans of drink, it's really, really nice. And what I really like here is that it doesn't have that lower calorie flavor that you can sometimes get. The lemon is really, really coming through. Very, very, very zesty. And I do like zest. I can't lie. Okay, so a bit of a twist here. We've got Cottage Springs vodka lemonade infused with raspberry. Now, again, this is a lower calorie offering. This is 100 calories, 1 gram of sugar, 1 gram of carbohydrates, $2.70 for the can here. This is available individually. Vodka lemonade with raspberry. Now, I love, if there's a flavor pairing that I love, it is lemon and raspberry. I just love the way the citrus and the tartness of the raspberry fuse together. I think it's fantastic. It makes me happy in just weird ways, I guess. Well, not weird. I feel like that's completely acceptable. It's very, 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 very delicious. Now, Cottage Spring really are aiming at the cottage going crowd. This is the perfect drink to take in your cooler when you're heading to the cottage. And also, if anyone is heading to the cottage and wants to invite me, I am taking invitations at this time. So go ahead. I'll make the cocktails or perhaps bring the lovely premixed drinks from the LCBO. We've got a question from Kerry. Yes, Kerry, what would you like to know? While you ask, I will pop on open this delicious sounding can of lemonade infused with raspberry here from Cottage Spring, a lower calorie option. What garnish do you recommend? I'm glad you asked. As I pour this, I will tell you. So a lot of people Absolutely love the vodka lemonade raspberry as a lower calorie replacement to mimosas. So what I've gone with here to create a bit of a celebration and to add a little colour, I've added some frozen cherries to my vodka lemonade. Now, I believe that you're also asking about the garnish to the little Buddha peach tea. So if you're just joining us, what I did with the little Buddha peach tea is I popped it in a gold teacup, which I'm very excited about. It makes it lovely and Instagrammable, and I don't think you're able to see at the top. As I'm the only one here, I'll show you what I garnished with. I don't want to spill, but I used dehydrated citrus. I've used dehydrated orange. I dehydrate my own at home. It takes about 4 hours, but you can buy dehydrated citrus from places like the Cocktail Emporium across the city. So I've kept it simple, other than the fact that I've put it in a reasonably ostentatious gold glass, and I have garnished with some dehydrated citrus there. I'll give you a recap of my garnishes again at the end if you guys want to take the serving suggestions. But back to the vodka lemonade raspberry from Cottage Spring. Again, like your regular lemonade seltzer, but with a raspberry flavour. Now, we've actually got a slight colour coming through there as well. As you can see, I've added some frozen cherries. This is just to keep it a little bit colder, but it's also adding to a sense of occasion. The cherries are bobbing around in there, having a lovely bubbly time, but I'm not quite finished. I'm actually going to add a little bit of lemon zest. And once again, this is something that I'm going to express the oils into my champagne flute here, because I really just want to get that zesty lemon flavour coming through. I'm rubbing it at the top of my glass and then popping it in. This makes it look like a very celebratory brunch cocktail right there. You could have this in replacement of a mimosa with brunch. I think the tartness of the lemon and the raspberry will really cut through some of those saltier fats that you would have at brunch. So the avocado toast would pair very lovely with this, or eggs Benedict, my absolute favourite. So instead of a mimosa, if you're looking for a bit of a lighter option, then head on over and grab some Cottage Spring vodka lemonade, which I'm now very excited to try. Oh, that's absolutely delicious. Really lovely. I know that I was already sold, because raspberry and lemon really are two of my favorite flavor pairings. But this really, really, really comes through. And what I really like here is that the flavors do seem very natural. They taste as raspberry and lemon ought to, and that can be something that can be quite difficult when you're creating a canned pre-mixed cocktail. Again, 100 calories per can here. Now, this again would be something that I would pioneer for brunch, but also if you just wanted to have it as a lower ABV, lower calorie option instead of, for example, your celebratory wine, that would go very, very nicely indeed. And just a really, really fabulous tart blend of raspberry and lemon there. Okay, moving on now. I know a lot of you will have seen and heard of Mike's. Mike's are pretty much the OG in canned cocktails, aren't they? This is Mike's Hard White Freeze Cooler, coming in at $3.10 for a 473 milliliter can. So we've got a lot more here. 5% ABV as well. And these have been made to tug on the nostalgia of those of you who love cream soda. These actually very much taste like the white freeze pop that you would buy at your corner store, at your local corner store. That's the theme with Mike's here. Now, you've probably already tried their hard lemonade. There's a whole bunch of different coolers in the Mike's repertoire. But the hard white freezer is new on the shelves. I also believe that they have a blue freeze too, which is a lot like the flavor of the blue freeze pop. So I suppose pick your favorite. This is a vodka infused alcoholic beverage with a cream soda vibe. Now, I actually learned a good fact today, and I want to tell you the good fact because, you know, we're having a lovely, responsible time. It's the moment for trivia coming through. So I thought that cream soda was something that had been invented and was first enjoyed in around the 1930s in America, but I did a little research, and actually cream soda was first invented in the 1890s which means it's very, 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 very old. And like, we should probably all bow down to the cream soda for, I don't know, just being a real enduring flavor that we still enjoy. And also for Mike's for bringing it back around. Like, it's retro, but it's really double retro. Now, this is obviously the kind of can that you would pop in the cooler, take it to the cottage, or have it in the backyard, accessible near the barbecue for those long, lovely afternoons in the summer sun. You can, once again, drink it straight from the can, as you can with all of our cocktails today. But I have kind of a fun suggestion for you. Now, in terms of food pairings with coolers, this is on the sweeter side. It can be a little bit difficult. So I'm thinking, why not enjoy it as a dessert itself? So again, drink it from the can. Sure. That's absolutely fine. Or if you really want to play to those nostalgic soda shop vibes, you can pour it out into a soda shop style ice cream Coke float glass with a lovely vintage straw. But just to add an extra layer, I'm actually going to be putting a little bit of ice cream on top of this. I want this as my dessert. I want a lovely, fizzy, delicious time here. And this is what I'm going for. So I've actually picked up some local Ontario lemon and passion fruit ice cream. And I'm making a bit of a soda float here. And I think that the lemon and passion fruit flavors are really going to pair super, super, super well with the cream soda. Now, no soda ice cream adventure is complete without a cherry on top. So here we go. Looking lovely. Cheers. I absolutely love the colors here as well. And I don't want to say Instagrammable again, because I just don't want to be that girl that you find annoying because she talked about Instagram too much. But at the same time, can we just get a moment of recognition for this? Because I think it looks really beautiful. If somebody served me this as a dessert at a luncheon or a dinner, or just as a treat in their backyard, I'd be thrilled. So we're going on in for a sip. Oh, that is delicious. It is sweet. There's no skirting around that. If you're into sweet drinks, this is absolutely for you. Now I'm going to try it with the float pairing, because that's what I'm really excited about. Perfect. Cut straight on through. Delicious on its own. Delicious with a lemon sorbet or a lemon and passion fruit cream ice cream here. Really, really, really as a dessert in its own right. Throw the food pairings out of the window and make it a dessert itself. Cheers. I'm going to have one more sip of that because actually it's really delicious. Well done, Mike's. I think that's going to be an absolute big hit. Okay, our final can cocktail of the evening. We have the Walters Caesar. Now, I'm very, very, very excited about this. I love a Caesar. This is $3.75 for a 473 milliliter canned cocktail. This is Walters Premium Caesar Mix mixed with vodka. Now, you probably will have seen Walters Caesar Mix on the shelves. I've been buying it for years. I love it. It's very, very tasty. You can get all kinds of different ones. And now, finally, they have made a pre-mixed can available at the LCBO. Now, what I'm very excited about here, I'm a person that really does care about the ocean. The Clamato juice in the Walters Caesar is ocean-wise certified, which makes a really, really big difference to me. Now, for those of you who are not au fait with the Caesar, I'm sure all of you watching asked were in Canada, but I know when I first moved to Canada, I was like, what's a Caesar? How is it different from a Bloody Mary? But oh, Rebecca, how she learned. This has got really meta. I remember having my first Caesar on a hot patio in September 2015. And once again, these lovely long Ontario summers that we have meant that it was still summer when I arrived in September, and I had my first Caesar. And a Canadian educated me into what a Caesar was. So the difference between a Caesar and a Bloody Mary is the Clamato juice, or I said it like you. Wow. Earlier, I've been going around saying Clamato juice because I say tomato, but I've been living here for a long time. The sounds have just kind of fused. But, I say Clamato, you say Clamato. Honestly, at this point, we all just enjoy a Caesar. So what are semantics? Anyway, I'm very excited about this because I think that it is already pretty spicy and the horseradish flavors are going to come on through as they do with the regular Caesar mix. but I'm excited to try it mixed with the vodka. Now, I do have one more piece of trivia before we get into the tasting. Now, a lot of people do claim the Caesar, and why wouldn't you? It's a fantastic cocktail. So I'm sure that there are plenty of people out there that would tell me I'm wrong, but my research tells me that the hearty, humble Canadian Caesar was invented in 1960 in Calgary. And I'm going with that because that's the narrative I want to hear about the Caesar. If the Americans try and claim it, let them try. We all know what's going on here. So I think it's time to talk about garnishing. I've gone, I think we'll all agree, quite demure here. I've got a jalapeno, I've got some pickled onions, I've got some lemon, I've got some spruce, and I've rimmed my glass with Walter's Caesar mix. They have their own Caesar topper. But some people do go absolutely outrageous, don't they? But I'm on camera. I didn't want anything to go wrong, so I've kept it classy, I think we'll say. It's still going to look very nice and Instagrammable, but I haven't shoved an entire chicken thigh in it on this occasion. Maybe next time. That's poured perfectly. Already I'm getting very excited about the smell of my Caesar here. Caesars obviously are pretty much the official brunch cocktail at this point, right? If you're going for brunch, you're either in Camp Caesar or Camp Mimosa, or maybe you're like me and you don't want to pick a camp. Like one day you want a Caesar, one day you want a Mimosa, and no one will judge you because, do you know what? You can want what you want. So yes, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how well it pairs with brunch. You know, you've been there. Perhaps you're even going to enjoy a patio brunch soon, or you're going to invite your bubble over and have some lovely pre-mixed, pre-poured Walter's Caesar in a can. We love it. We really do. If I was in England, I would be trying to pioneer the Walter's Caesar in a can as the Sunday roast cocktail of choice, because I think that this would pair so perfectly with a Sunday roast. Now, if you don't know what a Sunday roast is, basically, it's our brunch. We get together with our family on a Sunday and have roast chicken or roast beef or a nut roast if you don't eat meat, and roast potatoes and lovely roasted vegetables. Basically, if you can cook it in butter and oil, you shall. It is your right. And this would go perfectly with roasted, I would say especially roasted beef with those horseradish overtones. Would be absolutely delicious. Now, I know a lot of you do Sunday dinners out here as well. I've made it sound like a cool, quirky cultural thing when maybe you're just going to have some roast beef and have a Caesar. And I really, really do recommend it. Or you could have this as a starter. I know that, like, for me, I really love Caesars because it's an opportunity to drink something that isn't super sweet. And sometimes I love a good sweet cocktail, but sometimes I just want something a little bit more savory. This would be a perfect starter to a dinner in an evening. Again, something that you can have by the lake at the cottage or out on your balcony, in your backyard, on the deck. Honestly, there's no place that wouldn't get a little better with a Caesar. But when we're talking about food pairings, again, let's circle back to garnishes, because some people would call a Caesar a meal in itself. And I wouldn't disagree with them, because I've seen some of the things coming out of restaurants in Toronto. Again, I'm so excited that they're opening back up. And like, we've got lobster claws coming out of them. We've got tiny cheeseburgers. We've got all kinds of things. I've even seen ice cream cones coming out of them, which for me is perhaps a step too far, but maybe I just, you know, maybe my taste buds aren't ready for that kind of chaos. So you could make your Caesar an entire meal in itself, and I would respect and salute you. Again, it is something that you can basically choose your own adventure with a Caesar, which I like. You could have your friends over from your bubble, or you could get your family together in the garden, and you could have a build your own Caesar type afternoon with the Walter's Caesar in a can. So all you do, Walter's made it super easy for you. You don't even need to mix the drinks. You've got the canned Caesar. You can focus on the garnish, which I thoroughly recommend. And if you do that and you do go crazy, then obviously do make sure to tag Walter's Caesar on Instagram and me in the LCBO, because honestly, I love to see it. I really do. I also love to drink it. So we're going to try. Oh, this is delightful. I think I've used the word delightful twice today. Maybe a lot of time spent on my own indoors has really limited my vocabulary. But if the shoe fits, we're going to walk in it. This is delightful. It's really, really tasty. Again, the horseradish flavors are coming through here. An absolute perfect mix there. Now, I know a lot of my friends do like a Caesar to be a bit spicier. This isn't super, super spicy. The spice is coming through, but it's not blow your blow your head off spicy, which I know some people really, really, really do like. So if you're really into that, a little dash of hot sauce if you wanted that. But for me, this is already a really, really fantastic mix and blend. And I'm just so happy that this is on the shelves at the LCBO. So it's time for us to have a little recap here. And if you've got any last minute questions you want to ask me before we wrap up this stream, then now's your time to go ahead and let me know. You can consider me your summer hot list must-try cans guru for the next 5 minutes. I'm here for you. I'll answer your questions. So first up, we started with the sparkling rosé Lola. Now, I absolutely love this. The can's beautiful. The drink is delicious. A lot of people already love the Lola, and this is not going to disappoint. I poured mine into a champagne flute, popped in some strawberries, and it tastes like an absolute dream there. Moving on, next up, we had the Good Fortune citrus orange flower sparkling wine beverage, a lower ABV, $2.95 a can. I served mine in a coupe glass. I did deploy my tiny cocktail pegs to adorn mine with a flower. You don't need to go that crazy, but like at the same time, if you want to, I will respect you. I'll respect you either way because this is a delicious drink, but we love to peg a flower. Next up, we had the Georgian Bay Half Smash coming in at 2.5%. This is the canned cocktail for those of you that want a little bit of a lower ABV in an afternoon. You want to have a little bit of the sauce, but you don't want the full punch. Now, this is absolutely delicious. A slight minty flavor, as is synonymous with Georgian Bay drinks, I find. Again, I've served this over ice, which is now available at the LCBO. Hurrah! I've popped in a couple of peach slices and a big basil leaf. But anything that you've got, any greens you've got growing in your garden, rosemary would also really, really work nicely. Just something to give it a little extra pop to the eye, but basil really does work. Then we had the Little Buddha cocktail. I know a lot of you in the comments section were very, very excited about this. The Little Buddha peach tea retails at $2.95. Is 0 sugar, 90 calories. I served mine in a teacup and I popped in some dehydrated citrus there. Organic, no sugar, very exciting. Then we moved on to our Lemon Life Hard Lemonade Seltzer. Again, this is available in a 6-pack. That's a 6-pack for $13.95. Perfect to have with your bubble on the deck, next to the lake, just anywhere, really. To be honest, if you're with good friends and there's a bit of sun, you can be anywhere. But once again, if those cottage invites are coming through, I will receive them. I served mine in a Collins glass with a little ribbon of lemon for the colour pop, and I popped in some blackberries because I was growing them, and I thought, you know what, let's have a blackberry. Cottage Spring vodka lemonade raspberry was next. That was coming in at $2.70 for a can. This is a perfect and lighter replacement for a mimosa at brunch. As you could see, I've served mine in a champagne flute, popped in some frozen cherries to keep it nice and cool. I expressed the oil of some lemon over the top. It's vibrant, it's pleasing to the eye. It pairs perfectly with eggs and avocado, which, you know, if something does, I'm here for it. Mike's, the veteran of the cooler. They're coming in hot with a cool, hard white freeze. That's $3.10 a can. Very, very nostalgic, reminiscent of white freezies that you would buy from the corner store. We had some facts about when cream soda was invented. Play on back if you want to hear those. I served mine as a kind of ice cream float situation in a vintage style glass with a vintage straw. We love this. This is a great addition to the Mike's lineup. Then finally, we had the Walters Caesar in a can. It was a natural next step for them. $3.75 for a 473 milliliter can of Walters Caesar there. It's lovely, a perfect blend, something that you can garnish ostentatiously if you want to, or simply sip straight out of the can on your patio or your balcony, or again, if you're lucky enough to have a cottage that you'd like to invite me to by the lake. All of these are available at the LCBO. Do check out their website to learn more information about the products. If there's anything you want to look at in a bit more detail, then they will be able to help you. There are also different ways to purchase from the LCBO. We're still living in different times, so the LCBO have made it as convenient as possible for you to shop. Yes, you can still shop in person. I love popping into the LCBO and seeing what seasonal things are on offer and on display. That's the way that I like to go for it. You can still do that. I would always recommend checking online first to see if what you're looking for is available in stock, which is super easy to do. If you're not yet comfortable heading on in person, or you just want a little bit more time, the convenience of picking up something without having to do the shopping, you can order online. You can have your order delivered in store within 14 days. The LCBO will send you an email and let you know when your order is ready to be picked up. You could go ahead and do that at your convenience. If, like me, you're a busy babe in the city and you want something now, you can actually order for same-day collection at the LCBO. 190 stores across Ontario are offering same-day pickup within a 3-hour window if you order before 3 p.m. If you're not yet feeling like you want to be heading into stores, even though they are sanitizing, we're all wearing masks, I completely understand if you're not going to be wanting to head into stores. Curbside pickup is available. You can place your order ahead of time and your package will be delivered to your car, which is fantastic news. Once again, ice is available in the LCBO, so that's very exciting. If you do want to look further at the cans in question, then head on over to the website. On the website, you will also be able to learn about more live streams and virtual events and tastings that the LCBO will be hosting here on YouTube. I hope you've had as much fun as I've had this evening. It has been absolutely fantastic. Once again, I want to remind you guys to drink responsibly. I'm as excited about the summer as you, but I want to be the classy, elegant one, serving my lovely cocktails to my friends. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you next time. Have a lovely evening. Bye.